Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up this screen. South Carolina, they seem very lost without Marshawn Lloyd. And they were, I don't know how much better they would have been with him, but I know without him, they're struggling. Their offense just can't seem to do much of anything. And the South Carolina fans, look, I'm just going to tell you, they're distraught. They really are. I'm going to show you a couple of guys that I've shown you before, but the closer we're getting to the game, the more they're just kind of, it's not good. It is not good in South Carolina. And I can tell you a lot of the UT fans are planning on going down there because there's a lot of available tickets. My two brothers are going down there, and they had no trouble getting tickets. They're calling it sold out, but I question that. I think there's a lot of tickets available, and their fans are questioning as well. So let's get into this a little bit. And here Shane Beamer was updating Lloyd and the other injuries. And Lloyd's kind of their key one. It says Beamer is hopeful that running backs Marshawn Lloyd and Christian Beal-Smith will be available to play Saturday with a kickoff set at 7. I thought it was 7:30. Anyway, it says anybody that went down in the Florida game is fine. Everybody practiced it. He said the only two guys who were limited in practice today that we are hopeful can play on Saturday would be Marshawn and CBS, which is the other running back. He says both these guys were limited today in practice. Too early to say if they're definitely out or not. They both have told me they're going to do everything in their power to play if possible. And the reason they need Lloyd real bad is that if you saw them playing against Florida, they did not score a point. They had under 200 yards for the whole game, which is crazy. You never see that anymore. And the only 6 points they scored was on a fake punt. A special teams score. So, scoring with their offense is just not happening. And Marshawn Lloyd is a great running back. He's really good. I've seen him in several games, and he's a difference maker for them. And the reality is they really need this guy in the game to have any shot whatsoever, to have a good offensive display, because without him, they're going to be able to – the Vols will be able to pin their ears back and really go after Spencer Rattler, and that's going to be a problem. They need a balanced attack against the Vols because the Vols are really good at stopping the run, and even if they had Marshawn Lloyd, I think we'd do okay, but I think he would help them a lot. And if he goes in there – not 100% or not at all, I think they're going to have a tough time because if Spencer Rattler is going to have to carry the team completely on his shoulders, you saw the Florida game. It was no good. So I think this is a key player for him. And, I never want anybody to be hurt. So, hopefully he's getting better and winds up having a good NFL career because I see this guy playing on Sundays. He's that good. And here's his stats before he went down. He's missed the last 2 games. But if you look, he's averaged over 5 yards a carry, 5.6 with 9 touchdowns, and you can see why he's so critical. He's only 5'9", but he's really compact and strong, 212 pounds, and I'm telling you, he is really hard to tackle. Once he gets rolling and he's very shifty, he's probably one of the best running backs in the country, one of the better ones I've seen, that's for sure. And they're going to miss that production if he's not in the game. Now, South Carolina's lost 2 of the last 3, and the only victory they had was Vanderbilt. They got the Florida game just demoralized them, and 38-6, and they were never in the game. It was over after the first quarter, and it really brought the fans down, and this year has been a disappointment for them. Even though they have 6 wins, it's they were 5-2 at one time. Now they're 6-4, and it just has not gone well in the last few weeks. Now, I've shown you a couple of the South Carolina guys that really cover the Gamecocks, and they're very – well, they used to both be super positive, fired up about the Carolina Gamecocks, but one of them is he's become neutral now because he's just so mentally beaten up, and I understand that. I really do. It's we call it battered Vols syndrome, which many people are recovering from in Knoxville and Nashville and everywhere. But they've got a really bad case of battered Gamecock syndrome. And this gentleman's name is Captain Will on YouTube, and he covers Carolina quite a bit. He covers everything Carolina, and he does a good job. Let's see what he has to say about the Gamecocks coming up Saturday.
Busy week for the Gamecocks this week. Busy week. We have a busy week. I know it's first and foremost on everybody's mind. We're playing Tennessee. Playing that orange team, whatever. Senior night, 7 p.m. With 21.5-point underdog, Tennessee. Blah, blah, blah. But on brighter notes, the women's basketball team is 2-0. Amazing as usual. Don Staley and the staff has an amazing crew.
Okay, that should give you a pretty good indication of where he is mentally when it comes to this game Saturday. I can tell you it's probably that way for a lot of the Gamecock fans across the board. That last game against Florida was brutal. It really was. It seemed to take a lot of the air out of them. And let's see what else he has to say.
And can we at least slow down? Can we at least slow down Tennessee just a little bit? Can we at least pinch them? Can we pinch them a little bit? Because I know we know Taco well, but can we pinch them? Can we get close enough to rub up against them, do something? And my answer to that question? Nope. Nope. Show game. We can't. We don't tackle well. We don't tackle well. We don't tackle well at the middle. We don't tackle well on the perimeter. We don't tackle well in the stand. We don't tackle well in the locker room. We don't tackle well at the Cockaboose Club. We don't tackle well at 5 points. We don't tackle well at Vista. We just don't tackle well. That's how it goes. We don't. And we playing legitimately the fastest team in the country. Tennessee, a top 5 team in the country already. It's potentially a bloodbath on Saturday night under the lights. So it's going to be, I'm afraid what the score going to be. I'm afraid how many yards they're going to get. I'm afraid to watch it. And they sending the SEC Nation down there. They're going to be all there in the morning, telecasting. Like, they ain't coming to see us. No. They ain't coming to see us. They coming to see Tennessee beat the crap out of us. That's what they come to see. And then talk crap the whole night.
Yeah, it's like that for a lot of them down there. And look, I understand, man, it's tough when your team's losing. We have been there. I promise you. Yeah, we've definitely been there. Now, the reality is things have changed a lot for us. Yeah, and what we've had to do, we've had to kind of show people we're no longer battered Vols syndrome, folks. There's a new sheriff in town.
That's an attention getter.
That's right. Look, we just had to get some people's attention, and we've done that. We've done it well. And I understand where the Carolina folks are. They're having a tough time. And now we're going to check on another fella. This guy was really talking smack about 4 months ago about the Vols team. And actually, I did a video on it, and I'll link that video. If you want to see what he was saying 4 months ago, Carolina jackpot. I mean, he was going to whoop us, and it was just all this, that, and the other. And things have changed kind of dramatically, and he's decided he's no longer a Carolina Gamecock fan. He's neutral until they make changes that makes him feel like there's a positive road ahead for him. And if they'll make those changes, then he's going to come back as a Carolina fan. But as of right now, he's neutral, which is, that's when you've really hit a point where you just can't take it anymore. And I'm really not making fun of him because I've kind of been there myself where you just kind of got to walk away for a while because it's too painful. But I think that's where he's at. So let's see where he is right now in his head and what he thinks of this game.
And picked up Shane Beamer. But that's just not a good look at all for that team. And on the flip side, you have Tennessee, who has, with a second-year head coach, is so far ahead of South Carolina, as one Uncle Lou would say, the Gamecocks can't see them with a telescope. Home games, they normally have a big crowd there. This game has been it's announced as a sellout. However, the Missouri game at South Carolina was announced as being sellout as well. And I, from just a viewer's perspective, could see that it was not a sellout. I mean, there were tons of empty seats there. Those seats may have been sold, but no one was attending.
Yeah, and again, Saturday's a sellout game, but I think a lot of those seats will be filled by Vols fans. Like I said, my two brothers are heading down that way this weekend, and I'm hoping to be able to communicate with them and be able to put it on the show. I'm working on my Zoom and all that, so hopefully I'll be able to bring you to them, and they'll give you some perspective from the stadium and also from South Carolina restaurants and stuff like that, and they'll interact. I know how they are, so it should be pretty interesting. And let's see what else Carolina Jackpot has to say.
Year, it's been a lost season, so I don't really see a lot of positives going into this game. I don't think South Carolina covers the spread. I think they're going to get blown out. Most of the public money is coming in on Tennessee.
Yeah. You can see the Carolina fans, they're in a bit of depression when it comes to their Gamecocks. Yeah, they don't have the best mindset going into it. Now, look, here is my opinion. I think the first quarter, South Carolina will show up and they will play as hard as they possibly can. I think they will give it everything they've got. And I think the fans that South Carolina has that'll be there, and they'll have plenty, I think they will be on board like you cannot believe in that first quarter. And there's going to be reasons for that, because I think they're going to be in very festive spirits.
You picked up some bootleg liquor. Where did you get the liquor? Where did you get the liquor?
Exactly. Just like they're going to find that bootleg liquor. Anyway, but I think if Tennessee can score early and score often in that first half, I think it'll just deflate them and we should be fine and dandy. But, we can't let them get ahead and think they've got a chance in this game. And that's because you're playing away. When you're playing away at 7 o'clock at night, things can get out of hand. So it's important that we play very focused football and not get ahead of ourselves and not write this thing off as a victory until we've got them in hand. So I think those first 15 minutes are going to be pretty darn important. And like I said, there's going to be plenty of UT fans down there, and I think that'll help a bunch. I think somewhere between 10 and 20,000 fans will have orange on, and that should really help because, look, it's important that we have our spirits up too. and sitting at 9-1 right now makes you feel darn good. As a matter of fact, it makes you feel like this.
But to be the man, you got to beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here.
That's exactly right. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the Vols. And share this video if you don't care. That would help me. And I hope you did like the content. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk J.